I know why. I know exactly why.
It's because you're smart. You're so tech savvy.
I will show you why. Because I have you inside a little bit and it's echoing inside my computer thing.
Oh.
Let's try. How about that? Is that better?
Yes. Yes. That is better.
See, I can show whenever you're ready to actually start. Let me.
Oh, we've already started. It goes right as soon as I thingy.
All right. Well, I redid my whole office, so I can show this.
Yes. Tour the office.
Yeah. But you would have been in there. That's where I have my editing station.
Okay.
And whoop, I redid my whole entire side.
That's so fancy. I don't want to show people what my office looks like because it is a hot mess.
Yeah, you could actually see like my friends, the Viberless. You know Chris Hosner?
Sure do. Designs your t-shirts.
Leela?
Yeah,
that's their band. This was actually made by Leela. And that's their band stuff. I have one of their stickers too. And actually, I'm wearing their shirt. Not planned.
No, they did not sponsor this video.
No, not planned.
The best.
Like my records and stuff, I got them all laid out. No, I'm actually pretty excited. This
is like a nice little setup you have here.
The problem is, I'll just throw it on the ground while I'm at it. The problem is, for years, I've never had a space to edit. And it was always like wherever I could do my work.
Right.
And my eldest moved out and got her own apartment with her boyfriend.
Okay.
And Haley moved to her old room, and I took over Haley's old room, which was, she used to call it the Hobbit hole. It's so damn small.
That was like my bedroom growing up. I had like the teeniest, and like my bedroom used to be an office for the people that lived there before we had, and then that was my room. And so when I got the opportunity in like university to move into the basement, it was such a big deal and like so exciting, because then all of a sudden I felt like I lived alone because I had the whole basement to myself and like nobody really went down there. So like it was mint. It was so good. But
that's awesome.
Welcome here, Allie, to whatever this is. I don't know. I'm so bored.
It's interviewing of people nobody knows.
Pretty much, yeah. Hey, I'm somebody nobody knows too. People don't know me. They know Dan.
It's ironic because you actually interviewed John, who's actually a friend of mine.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I'm just gonna like work my way through all of like, I feel like, because I want to do like Chris and his wife next, because like they help us so much with our t-shirt designs, and like I feel like I'm just gonna go through your whole little circle.
Oh, absolutely. Like I'm telling you what, when you get Chris and Leela there, they are a blast. I adore them. Like we stopped to see them in March when we went down to Florida before this whole pandemic thing went. And so we stopped on the way down and we visited, and it was a great time. And then when I went to get my frame, I'm like, well, we're not working. So I called Chris, and that's actually where I got my frame too, for the Buick.
Oh.
So we drove down and visited with them, and it's always a good time.
That's so fun. That's sort of like, I feel like that's the bummer of living in Canada, is because like I feel like everyone that we know now lives in the States and in like all those kind of southern states and stuff. So eventually we'll make it down there. But before we continue, I feel like we need to say who you are instead of just, because I know who you are, you know who you are.
Very true. I'm Allie. I run the channel called Auto Allie. I do amateur photography just because I get bored. And I work on cars. I'm the Ford person of the group, which is the oddball, apparently.
Yes, I feel like that's absolutely the oddball.
Yes. I actually, like, some of my friends down here that do YouTube is like Matt Charrington, and I have a friend, Fire and Gasoline, which I'm doing something cool with them. It's going to be epic. Just wait. But that's who I am. I mean, I'm just a boring person. I'm a parent. I work in behavioral health, and you know.
And you do cars on the side. And Allie is also, so when you guys see the little blue wrench of supervision on the YouTube page during the live chats, this is Allie. Like, that's who's keeping all y'all in line. And I love how fast you are. Like when somebody is not playing well with others, just instantly you're like, nope, time out, you can. That's
I'm like the mom. I'm like, time out.
That's the mom in you coming out. I love it. And it's such a huge help for us because we are like trying to catch up with like what people are saying. And so it's nice to have you on our side, like answering some questions and like kicking people out if they need to go.
Well, you know, it's your channel's getting big enough now that you're going to be dealing with people like that. I'm just happy to help.
You're like our cool, tough mom. I love it.
I know, right? Well, I mean, I was helping on the Facebook page for about an hour or two, and then someone booted me from that. Wouldn't know who that was.
Well, the Facebook page is it's pretty mild since like we're not like, I've got that under control. That I can handle. That's an okay one, but like keeping up with like on the live stream is like, because it's all happening right then and there. Like that one's tough.
Oh, that one's crazy.
Have you always worked on cars? Like, has that always been a thing for you?
Yes, actually, growing up, like when I was real young, my dad actually had an injury when he worked in the mill, and he hurt his back really bad. So after they had done the settlement and all that stuff, he got an approval, and they actually changed where they live now. They actually got a variance so that my dad could open his own garage.
Oh.
So that way, if his back hurt, he didn't have to work. But if he was feeling okay, he could make some extra money.
Okay.
And he ran the garage the whole time I was growing up. Like, I learned my first transmission fluid change was on an old Chevette. It was our pastor's car. I learned how to drive in a Chevy Celebrity when I was 10 years old. It was a 5-speed. And it was all because of my dad and, you know, everything I had learned growing up. I mean, I grew up in the garage.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
And that, he was cool with you, like, getting right in there while he was trying to, like, make money and wasn't kicking you out and being like, get out of here for that.
Yes. It was usually, can you see? Good. Well, I can't. But, you know.
I mean, that's why people have kids, right? Is free labor?
Yeah, something like that. But it's actually ironic that I mentioned the Buick and you bring this up because that 68 Buick I'm going to be restoring, my dad gave me that car when I was 15.
Wild.
He had bought it to flip it. Like, the guy blew the transmission in front of the house. Most of my cars came from the car broke down in front of the house. But so the transmission went bad, and he was talking to the guy, and the guy was a local drunk. And the guy's like, you give me $300 and a case of beer and you can have the car.
That's really familiar, actually.
And my dad,
car for a case of beer.
Like, okay. So my dad buys it and he goes to the small town, like it's like 3 miles from our house. He goes to pick it up and he drives it in reverse because it only has reverse.
So he drove it all the way back 3 miles?
He drove it home in reverse for like 3.5 or 4 miles.
I feel like that's so unsafe, but that's also so classic of that time.
Well, anybody that's seen my videos knows we live out in the sticks. We're not, downtown.
Wait, are you a hick?
No. I live around them, but I don't.
I am not one.
I'm not a city person. I'm not the hillbilly backwoods. I'm like somewhere in the middle.
You're like a sillbilly.
I like that. The sillbilly.
I love that. That should be your next shirt. Auto Alley, sillbillies.
I'm like that country rap genre of music where nobody gets it, but it exists.
Like, what's his name with the Old Town Road? Yeah.
Yeah, or you have like oh God, what's his name
Didn't
now?
Florida Georgia Line do a rap song with like Flo Rida?
They may have, but like there's a whole bunch like Up Church and there's like Shotgun Shane. Like, dude's got a rap song about a square body Chevy. It's like, okay.
I'm gonna have to find that and play it for Dan. I've never heard that.
I will send you a link later.
Please do. Please
it is
do.
ridiculous. It's ridiculously funny.
So you've always been working on cars and stuff. So like you have legitimate car knowledge, unlike some people. Do you find it being like weird to be the girl in the garage with all the guys? Or actually, let me rephrase this. Does it feel weird being the girl with the garage that all the guys come to work on their stuff? Because that is like a thing, right? That like, girls don't work on cars.
I don't really view it that way. Just because for me personally, it's like, it's what I do, it's what I love. And if people want to enjoy that, great. If they're not into that, cool. It just like, for me, I don't really think it's that odd.
That's awesome.
So
it's like a normal everyday thing. And that's totally what it should be. I love that. Mm-hmm. So then how do you, because I know you guys are a busy family because you're always, I feel like, on your way to hockey or coming home from hockey or something with the kids. So how do you balance like
this?
Oh my God.
That's our hockey schedule.
That's insane.
And the ones that say RMU are in Pittsburgh, and the other ones are in our town.
Oh my goodness. So how do you balance all of that? Like between being a mom, being a wife, and then like being in the garage, making videos, like all of the stuff that you do. How do you find a balance?
Time management. Like a lot of like right now my videos aren't really going around because my parents' house. I posted like 2 videos on the remodel and they kind of went so I haven't really done much video on that, but like I usually don't, like, I'll do the work on the weekends, I'll video everything, and then through the week I'll take, like, during hockey, I'll take my iPad,
right,
my other one, and I'll take that, and while Mac's doing hockey, I'll sit there and edit a video.
Because he's not like good enough for you to watch play hockey.
She's actually really good at hockey, but with COVID, number one, I'm very antisocial. As funny as it is for me online, I don't talk to people. So Mac will go to hockey, and I think I know maybe 2 of the parents at RMU.
Okay.
Of a team of 18. At home, we know a few more, but like overall, I don't talk to people. I'm not comfortable talking to people. And that's why it's even more ironic that I'm friends with Leela and Chris and John and Bart. And like, I'm friends with that whole group because of Cindy.
Right.
So it's like, it's not hard for me to just be like, you go play hockey, I'll sit in the car, and when you're done, I'll help you load up your bag. So
right.
Good.
I mean, at least you're like taking her to hockey, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm driving.
You're not making her like walk with all of her stuff to Pittsburgh.
That would be a long ass walk.
But like, if one day she was making you real mad, like you could do it. You'd be like, you're walking, child.
Pittsburgh is 47 miles away.
I don't know miles, so that literally means nothing to me.
Oh, you know, you and your Canadians and your floppy heads.
I absolutely refuse to learn whatever system it is that American, like I will never learn the Fahrenheit stuff. I will never learn the not kilometers.
Let's say it
I
would be
refuse.
45 miles. 45 miles is 72.4 kilometers.
That is a very long way.
Yes.
But like maybe she made you real mad. You know? It's possible.
Maybe.
So do the girls wrench with you in the garage? Because you have all girls, right?
Yes. Jessica did a little bit. Ironically enough, she's in trade school now and she's learning construction.
Oh.
And then when she's done with building trades, she actually wants to go back and she wants to do electrician.
Cool.
So she's very much the I'll do what I want. Mackenzie likes to come out and help sometimes, but it depends on the day. Hello, you want to come in and say hi to everyone? Speaking of Mackenzie.
Hi, Mackenzie, we were just talking about you.
Oh, I want to show you
we were
something.
talking about your crazy hockey schedule and how you like to occasionally help in the garage.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
What's
So
your
there you
favorite
go.
thing to do in the garage, Mac?
I don't actually have a favorite.
Is there a least favorite thing to do?
Sanding.
Sanding. That was fast. Like
Body work.
she was on the
No,
money.
I'm okay with the I'm okay with the body work. The sanding is a little extreme for my arms. Because then Givon's gonna be like, "Can you help me with this?" And I'm like, yeah. I wanted to show you something.
Not right now.
Okay.
not right now.
TikTok.
child.
It's her TikTok thing.
Ah, TikToking. Just taking those talks. Can you hear that?
No.
Oh, Dan is like revving something obnoxiously.
So any one of his cars.
Yes.
It's
That's why
probably
I don't know
truck.
which one it is, because it's literally all of them sound that way.
It's probably the truck because that's what he's been working on.
It might be. I know he just needs to move some stuff around, but I think, it might have been the 55 actually. Because I know he's getting ready to put that away for the winter, but
Yeah, you guys are getting ready for snow.
we are getting ready for snow. But no, it's not getting ready for snow. Is your Mustang that we were really excited to see on Power Tour before it got canceled.
Next year we will all be able to do it.
I hope
I hope.
so. I mean, I don't know. I still haven't gotten my Power Tour refund, so I've been
Oh,
sending
man.
emails and no one's getting back to me.
Wow.
So hey, if somebody knows Power Tour people, can you please tell them to call me?
There was an email you could, like an email address you could message, but
Who knows? Anyways, your Mustang that has
Yes.
been like, would we say it fought you? Is that
no. Aside from a few little tidbits, it was actually one of the easier cars that I've done.
really?
I would tear that car apart and put it back together before I ever want to work on my Thunderbird Super Coupe again. Yes.
Okay. That is like a
Or-
strong opinion.
Or pulling the carburetors on my motorcycle. That for those at home who don't know,
Uh-huh.
the original plan was I was actually going to be at Dad's and I was going to have the car pulled out and everybody could see it. But my work added another client to me for the evenings and I finished up with him literally at 6:45. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm not going to the garage.
Just kidding.
Yeah, just kidding.
So is that where you work on everything? You don't have a garage at home, it's all at your dad's?
I have a garage at home. In my garage here, I have my 2003 SVT Focus. I have my 94 Thunderbird Super Coupe. And I have my Interceptor motorcycle, and I have my dad's Intruder in my garage right now.
Oh, okay.
Because I got a pretty good sized garage. But over at my dad's, we've actually invested together. And like, we have the lift, we have a 3-bay garage in the front with all the work area. And then behind that garage, which I don't show a lot on video, is actually the old garage that's a 2-car garage with a work area and a lean-to.
Oh my gosh, so you're like living Dan's dream.
Pretty much.
He
Except for ours is already filled with a bunch of junk that we already bought, and we're trying to fix them all.
But like that part, again, is still Dan's dream, is just to fill it all the way with junk and then fix it. I am so determined to get to park in the driveway like nobody's business. Like, my new goal in life is to get to park in the driveway. It will never happen.
Not gonna happen.
It's good to have goals, as you know, being like a behavioral specialist.
Well, let me tell you, actually, you've gotten to park in the driveway once or twice.
Yeah, when my car was broken.
Well, you parked the car there, and Dan put his coffee cup in the car.
That's
so I know
true.
it wasn't too far.
In the wintertime, I will. If it's really cold, I'll get to park because that's where I can plug it in. I forgot about the coffee cups. Oh my gosh. Okay, so for people that don't know, Dan went on this spree of making a cup of coffee in the morning and like taking it to work, but in like an actual coffee cup. And then he would just leave it either on the hood of my car, beside my car, anywhere that he knew that I would see it. So I'd have to bring it in for him.
Well, you can't expect a man to do everything for himself, can you?
Don't I know it? Believe me. So would you like, because the Mustang was so easy, is it your favorite car, or do you feel like because it was so easy you didn't get that like struggle that makes it so satisfying?
I love the car. I don't need the struggle to enjoy it. But my all-time favorite car I actually had to sell. I had years ago, I had a 93 Ford F-150 Lightning.
Okay, I don't know what that is.
Here in the States, GM built a 454 SS pickup truck. And it was basically a short bed, regular cab Chevy truck with a big block.
Okay.
And Ford decided, we're going to show you how it's done. And Ford took a regular cab, short bed F-150. They put like hand embroidered seats in it. They put a full built 351 Windsor in it, a completely built rear or transmission. It had like 411 gears sitting on 17-inch wheels factory.
They're like fancy.
They were cool trucks. And I ended up selling it because just life, and Mackenzie, when she was born, she had heart and lung issues.
Okay.
So we were driving to Pittsburgh every day, which we just said, you're 74 kilometers or whatever. For us, it was 45 miles each way. And I wouldn't go a day without seeing her. And she was in the hospital for over a month.
Wow.
So in that time, a truck that got 14 miles to the gallon wasn't conducive.
No.
So doing the parental thing, I sold my truck and I bought an SHO Taurus, and I drove that every day because it was better on gas.
Right.
And I don't regret the decision because of why I had to do it.
Of course.
But that's the one that got away. That's the one I wish I still had.
So have you ever been able to like try to track it down, or?
I know exactly what happened to it.
Oh no, is it sad?
Yes.
Oh
no. I sold it to a friend of mine. He drove it for about 6 months or so, and then he sold it. Well, the kid he sold it to, apparently his talent ran out before the truck's power did. And he went off the road into a culvert, completely smashed the passenger side of the truck, ripped the passenger side door off, and he almost died.
Oh my gosh.
Ironically enough, I bought the motor back. I bought the motor out of the truck.
So a little bit of it is still with you.
I bought the motor back. I had it for a few years. I was going to put it in a Mustang. I even bought an 86 convertible to put the motor in. And then I sold the convertible and I had I'm like, I'm not going to use this motor. So I sold it because it was a Lightning motor.
Okay.
And it was always that like, oh, I'll never do anything. And then like now that I can actually start to afford to do these things, I'm like, I want one of those trucks again. And they're $10,000 for a 93. It's like, can't do it anymore. So that's the story of that.
Oh, well, I hope one day you can buy one again.
When I hit that YouTube gold, I'll have another one.
That's awesome. Okay, so I have a game that we're gonna play.
Sure.
I like games, and it's just me asking you a bunch of questions really quickly.
Okay.
And I'm better prepared this time than when I was with John, because with John I was not prepared. I had like 5 questions. I was like, oh, well, that's all.
It's all good.
I think for you I have 10 questions, so it's not much.
I'll do what I can.
Okay. So yeah, just answer these as fast as you can. This is so stupid. I like it so much. This is like purely all just for me. Like, I don't even care. Okay.
Oh, good.
Who is the messiest person you know?
My spouse. It would be a tie between her and my dad because you've seen our garage.
Yeah.
I'm the one that cleans up everything, and he's the one that's like, wrench here. Like, yeah. It's a tie between those two.
I love how just like shots fired at Cindy though, just straight up shots fired. I love it. And we kind of talked about this, but it might be different. What's your dream car? Like the car?
The dream car, if money was no object, would be a Di Tommaso Pantera.
Sure. Steven.
It is.
He didn't like your answer.
Well, I can't really make this one quick, but here in America, they made like Di Tommaso actually bought a bunch of Italian sports cars.
Okay.
And from that Italian sports car, he dropped a Ford 351 Cleveland motor in it with the rear wheel drive.
Okay.
So it was like an Italian/American homage.
Oh, that's fun.
Car.
That looks neat.
The Di Tommaso Pantera is my dream car that if I could ever do it, I would.
That looks very Miami Vice. Like you need a Tommy Bahama shirt, I feel like, to drive that. And possibly a Tom Selleck mustache, which I know is not Miami Vice, people, before everybody starts yelling at me. Okay, what is the one car you never want to own? And do not say a Kia.
Well, damn, there goes my answer. I would honestly say something like a Chevy Cavalier Sunbird, because I had one. I had a Sunbird. It was a piece of and never again. So any General Motors cheap car, Cobalt.
Anything that was like $5,000 brand new.
Yes. But I would drive an Escort from the same vintage.
I remember I wanted a Sunfire so badly. I thought they were so neat.
See, when I look at a Sunfire, I see the girl.
You're being very obnoxious.
See, the Sunfire is the girl when you wake up in the morning after the bar. The Trans Am is the girl you see at the bar. And that's all it is. Like, the Trans Am's the sexy one, and then the Sunfire is what you woke up with.
Okay, that was not the analogy I was expecting, like, at all. But, like, such a good one. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my
Will's falling off this bitch. Oh, Jesus.
What is the worst thing to fix on a car?
I despise brake lines.
Okay. Why?
I hate work. Well, you're probably in the Rust Belt too. Down here, it doesn't matter what you're doing or why, the brake line will break. And when it breaks, you got to try and get it out. And then when you try and get it out, then the hose breaks. And then when the hose breaks, then you can't get the bleeder out of the freaking caliper, or the bleeder breaks off in the wheel cylinder. And it's always like, oh, it's just a brake line. And it ends up with, I got a new master cylinder, brake lines, calipers, wheel cylinder, like
the things.
Everything. Like, oh, I despise brake systems on a car.
Okay, what is your favorite meal?
Steak salad.
Oh.
Can't figure out why I'm so fat, can you? Yes, I love salad. I don't get it either.
That's wild. Like, you don't make there is this one salad from this place that I like called Joey here, and they make this like ahi tuna salad that is the greatest salad in existence. But
you lost me at tuna.
Oh, well, sorry.
I'm weird. I don't like anything that comes from the water.
I know so many people like that.
Yeah, like the smell of fish makes me ill. The seeing shrimp makes me sick. Like
lobster
doesn't appetize. Like, if you
I
like
love
it, cool,
all
but,
seafood.
Yeah.
Seafood is my favorite thing. It's so delicious. What is your most useless talent?
Now I'd say playing the trumpet. My most useless is probably the fact that I can roll my tongue, which seems to be odd around here. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's not odd. That's odd around you?
It seems to be.
Huh. My useless talent is I do this thing with my knuckle. I don't know if it'll show up.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, I do this thing with my knuckle. Oh, hi, Steven. Say hi.
Hi, Steve. What's up, buddy? I have Jackson here being lazy with me.
Oh my gosh, so lazy. Like, he's just like, I'm over this.
Yeah. Well, that's Jackson. He looks like a little teddy bear.
He does. He kind of looks like what are those ones with all the rolls?
A Shar-Pei.
Shar-Pei, yeah, that's totally.
He's a Shar-Pei Golden Retriever mix.
Oh, that's cute. I love those Shar-Peis. I just want to like squeeze on their skin.
And we have a pug here. Over at my dad's is where we have the big dogs.
Okay. The other thing I can do, which apparently is weird, like, so I can do like this thing where like I touch my thumb to like my forearm, but then also like my fingers are really bendy.
Yep. Nope.
So like I can like so that's kind of weird. Yeah. Those are my useless talents. What do you hate about YouTube?
Wow. Honestly, the biggest irritation with YouTube is you do so much work. And if you are not a channel that is to a point where it can be monetized in general, let alone bigger, like, I swear to God, I have never worked this hard for no money. Like, and literally, you know, I would be working on the cars anyway. But it's like, you're out on YouTube, and they're like, well, we want to see this and that. And it's like, I can't sit there going, like, yeah, and that's what it feels like. It's like I'm throwing my money at a car for someone else to watch and go, you suck. Yeah.
That's such a good description of YouTube.
It is. Like,
so that's like anything, right? Even like with people that do makeup and like tutorials.
But like, oh you look at, like, even on Jan's channel, you see people hating on him. It's like, well, we know it's because you're jealous of his talent. Because you're not actually looking at his work and saying, oh, you suck. It's like, come on, man.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Like, I think the biggest one of the, and I think I was telling this to John, and I talked about this a little bit too. Like, one of the biggest questions that people ask us is like, well, how do you get on YouTube? How do you get started? And like, there's no shortcuts. Like, there's not an easy way of doing it. Like, it's great if somebody shouts you out. Like, that's so lovely, but you still have to like keep producing content, and it is all your money. Like, and kind of like you said, it's nice. Like, Dan would be in the garage anyways.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so really he's just added a camera to him being in the garage anyways. So at least in that sense, it doesn't feel like you're wasting your time, but it's definitely like, it's hard work.
It is. And it's like, I mean, a lot of people don't realize that, yes, we have a camera in the garage, but then we have 8 hours of video editing. So, you know, it's 9 o'clock at night, you're trying to go to bed and you're trying to do a little editing, or you're trying to, it's like, people don't understand the extra time.
Totally.
And then you put it out there, and then you have that person that's like, your channel sucks. It's like, okay, go screw yourself. Like, thanks for your input. Like,
sir.
Yes.
So on the reverse of that, what's your favorite part about YouTube?
The people. All day, every day. I mean, I met Dan on Instagram, ironically through an MG post. But like, that is the huge thing. Like, I have a couple local friends that are on YouTube. I've actually met and I've talked to Emily Reeves. I met her last Power Tour.
It was just like the sweetest baby angel that ever existed in the world.
Oh, she's awesome. I mean, I talked to her on Instagram and I feel like she's a friend, but you know, like, it's not like we're friends. But you know, it's like we have that. I mean, I know you and Dan, and John. Like, the story of how I met him, real quick. I know this is supposed to be fast.
And I love how it's like, we'll do 10 or 15 minutes, and it's been like almost an hour. Whatever.
Yeah, well, sorry.
I do what I
want. So we were on the last day of Power Tour in Norwalk, and it was supposed to be over at like 2 or whatever. And I'm like, it's 12 o'clock. We're not going to make it. And Cindy's like, no, we're going to go. I'm like, no, it's fine. She's like, we're going. Okay, fine. Norwalk's like 2.5, 3 hours away. So we drive out there, and sure enough, they're still there. And by the end of it, I was talking with Ben Brown, who owns S10 Rat on Instagram. I was talking with him. I was talking with John, Bart. I was chilling with Leela and Chris. And it was like, hey, cool. I met Emily and Aaron there. And I saw Derek from Vice Grip Garage and Dylan McCool and all them. I was over with the Boss Garage. Like, I was surrounded by all these cool people. And it was surreal. And I was like, okay, my day's done. And Cindy's like, no, we're going to go out to dinner. And I'm like, no, we're not. Like,
especially for you who doesn't like talking to people.
Yeah, it's like, my social battery is dead. And she's like, no, bullshit. And she found a restaurant and talked to Leela and Chris, who are like, hell yeah. And I mean, it was like, at the restaurant, it was Bart, it was John. We had Imperial Beach Dad there. Leela, Chris, Ben was there. And I actually took a picture of everyone that day and posted it up, and they all like shared it out and everything. Like, that's
so fun.
It was such an amazing day.
That's awesome. I love that. But like a good memory that you can like have with people.
Absolutely.
And you're right. It is like, it's totally the people that you get to like meet and interact with that make YouTube like worth it. Like that's what makes YouTube super fun, is like connecting with people from all over the world that like there's no situation on this planet where like we would have met you.
Exactly.
Right.
And then we're trying to do Power Tour before the world shut down.
Exactly. Okay, moving. I've only got 3 more questions.
Yes, sorry.
What's the funnest road trip you've ever had?
My most fun road trip, I would honestly say, was Matt and I riding motorcycles to Gettysburg.
Cool.
Yes, it was like, I love road trips with my family. I like going to Florida and whatnot, but when we went to Gettysburg, it wasn't about getting there. And
the ride.
Yeah, and like, we live a little ways away from like the mountains, and we have like what's called the Poconos and all that.
Okay.
And so when you leave out past us, you actually climb through the mountains. So we went all back roads, and we took 30, and it was just back and forth, just bends and curves. Oh, it was gorgeous. And then riding the battlefields on, like, I don't know if you learned a lot about Gettysburg, but America, we did.
Yeah.
And it's like just going through those spots that you learned about on a motorcycle, just like there's no experience like it.
Very cool. I love that. And now to go from your like super lovely sentimental thought to what's better, Pepsi or Coke?
Coke.
Good answer. And lastly, and most importantly, does pineapple belong on pizza?
Yes. Pineapple and ham.
Well, it just happens to be that the interview is over, but like also it would have been over anyways after that. I can't believe how people want, ugh, that's like Dan's favorite and I hate it so much. So gross.
Well, we never claimed you to be normal.
Rude. Gosh. Well, now this interview is definitely over.
Well,
so much for taking the time to like chat. You were supposed to be the first interview, and then like my computer stuff wasn't working. No, it ended up being John, but you were a wonderful second interview, and it was nice to just like spend this time chit-chatting, getting to know you. So real quick for everybody, what are all of your handles so that everyone can find you?
On Instagram, I'm Alyssa D81. On YouTube, I'm AutoAlley, AutoAli, all one word. Same on Facebook. I have AutoAlley on Facebook. I don't really do much with it, but I probably should.
Shouldn't we all, though?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, well, we'll make sure that I put all of that stuff in the description below so that people can find you. Thank you so much for chatting with me. That's pretty much it, I guess. I'm just going to hit the stop record button. But if there are people that you guys want to see me talk with and like whatever, I guess, and do whatever I want for an hour with people, that sounds bad. But if there are people that you want to see, let me know and tell them to talk to me or tell me to talk to them because, as you all know, I love to talk and the sound of my own voice. So these are great for me. But thank you, Allie, for being here. It was so fun to like get to know you and like see your face. And this was just like the best.
Anytime. And we'll see you on the flip side.
Heckin' yeah. Bye, friends.
See ya.